So now that we know how to make straight paths and curved paths and even change the direction of a path, let's go ahead and put it all to use. We're going to create the shape of a duck, and we're going to use all of these guides to help us to create our path. Let's start at the top of the head. I have the pen tool selected. I'm going to click on the anchor point and drag up in order to lay down my first point. Now the image repositioned a little, so I'll use the space bar in order to just move that back up. Then I'm going to click on the second anchor point, and because I need to make this curve, I'm going to click and drag in the direction that I want the next curve to go, which is the direction right down here. So we can click and drag again. So I think you'll start to see that the direction line that you click and drag sets the curve that you're going to draw next, whereas as you're dragging the direction line, it's the direction line behind the point that actually finishes off the previous curve. All right, I'm going to click right here and drag. This is the curve I want this way, so my back direction line looks good, but I need to extend the front direction line so that I can get this really nice gentle curve. Otherwise, if I click now, I'm just going to get something that looks like this, and I want it to be a little steeper here. So I'm going to undo that, and before I click down this next anchor point, I'm going to hold down the Option key and just drag that point out a little bit further, because that's going to give me more of a curve on this portion of the curve. So then we'll click and drag down. And now I need to change the direction. So in order to change the direction, I can really do one of two things. I can either click here while I've got the Option key held down, or I can click on the direction point and just swing it over so that it matches the template. All right, then I'll click and drag up. In order to start forming the tail here, I'll click and drag down. Then I'll click and drag way over to the left in order to create the base there. And I'll click and drag again. You would think that I could just click to draw that straight line, but remember, I'm clicking and dragging because this front point here is going to start the curve up. So then I'll click and drag again, and I'm dragging up because I'm starting this curve that's going to go up. I click and drag in order to make the bend in the neck, but of course now I need to change directions. So again, I can hold down the Option key and either click on the direction point and reposition it, or you can just click on the anchor point with the Option key held down and drag it out. Sometimes it's just my cursor is closer to the direction point, and sometimes my cursor is closer to the anchor point. That's really how I make the decision on that one. And then we just click and drag here, and then click again to round off the bill, and click again in order to connect or close our path. So now we have our work path in our paths panel. If we want to save that, we should double click on it. Go ahead and click OK. And to quickly turn this path into a shape, I can click on the shape icon. Now we can hide that background layer. We can also click off the path or just tap Enter in order to deselect it. And of course, if we wanted to change the color of the duck, we could double click on the shape layer. We could make this a nice red duck, or I don't know, maybe we want to make a nice green duck. There you go. With a little bit of practice, you'll be drawing great paths in no time.